Hello everyone, this is Mr. Strahota, and today I am bringing you a lesson on the California Gold Rush. And this will talk about how California not only becomes a state, but also how everybody started moving west. Yes, I'm going to try to do this voice the entire broadcast. Wish me luck. So, California during this time period, well, was it a state yet? Not quite. This was part of the Mexican territory of Alta California, which you can see here in this, let's say, pinkish color, maybe light red, whatever color you want it to be. This was part of the Mexican territory of Alta California. And this would be occupied by the United States since the Mexican-American War. And this will actually be ceded to the United States in the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo on February 2nd, 1848. Fun fact, the state of Wisconsin became a state in 1848. That has nothing to do with this lesson, just a fun fact. Alrighty, moving on. This is Sutter's Mill. So, what is the importance of Sutter's Mill? Well, this was a sawmill in Sonoma, which is a small town northeast of Sacramento. Fun fact number 2 is Sacramento is the state capital of California. Alright, that's fun fact number 2. Here we go, moving on. So, a man by the name of James Marshall. He was working the mill and he accidentally found gold in January of 1848. A pretty nice accident to make. But will he be able to keep this to himself? Well, they tried. The land's owner, John Sutter, wanted to keep this discovery a secret. Well, what do you think happened? Well, it wasn't kept a secret. Rumors spread, and within a few months, news spread across the United States, and now guess what people are going to do? That's right, they're going to start moving west. Very good, I'm glad you're paying attention at home. So this is the first newspaper report of the gold discovery. And what do you think the reaction was? Well, a bunch of people want to get rich really quick, so they're going to all flood west. So we have the gold rush, and if we're looking at this map over here, very different times, obviously back here in the mid-1800s. You could not just jump on an airplane and fly west in a couple hours. You could not just jump on a train and get transported west, and you couldn't even jump in a vehicle and drive west. Well, so what did some people? They had 3 different routes they had to choose from. And in 1849, thus the 49ers, for those of you who are curious where the term 49ers come from, it's because this took place in 1849. Thousands of men headed to California from across the world. Now, depending on where they were, depended on what route they could choose. Most took the Oregon and California Trails, a very popular computer game when I was growing up, was a game called the Oregon Trail, where you actually experienced trying to get through the Oregon Trail and all kinds of random problems happened. But I digress. So, some, however, took ships around the Cape Horn or through the Panama shortcut. So, if you were in New York, for example, and you wanted to get to San Francisco, today, logically, you would probably take an airplane and be there in roughly 5 hours. Well, back then, that didn't exist. So what some people decided to do was actually to take a ship and sail all the way west around the tip of South America down here by Cape Horn, which is down here at the tip of South America, and then come all the way back up here to get to San Francisco. Now, that might seem like a very ridiculous route to take, but this actually was faster than going through here for a lot of people. Now, some could cut through here, but we did not have the Panama Canal yet at this point, so you would have to portage your way across. Portage is a city in Wisconsin, actually. But portage means taking your vessel and walking it across to then get to the water and then could go through here. But that wasn't the easiest way either. So, again, you had 3 different routes, or you could just simply try going through on the land. But again, there was a lot of things in the way, like the Rocky Mountains. So, the 3 different alternatives, if you were to go down Cape Horn, this would take roughly 18,000 miles and would take 4 to 8 months and would cost $100 to $300, which again, back during this time period, is a lot of money. You could take the Panama shortcut, which would cut your travel down to only 7,000 miles, and this would take 2 to 3 months, so much shorter than the 48 months, but this would cost more money, typically $250 to $400. And then you could go over the overland trails, which is just going over the land here, which would be substantially less in mileage, 3,000 miles. But do note that this would take 3 to 7 months and would cost $100 to $200. So, 3 to 7 months. So let's just say it took 7 months. Well, going around Cape Horn might only take you 4 months. So you could actually cut your travel down by going all the way around here, up here, as opposed to going over the land. So people had some both economic decisions and time-making decisions to make when dealing with this crisis of trying to travel west. And you can see the different routes. Yellow was the Cape Horn option. This, let's call it mustard yellow, going through the canal here, or taking the overland trails across here. And again, obviously this yellow line is the longest, 18,000 miles, but it could actually be shorter taking this route than this route, which is pretty hard to believe. But again, water typically much faster than land. So the trails west, we have the Oregon Trail here, which is one of the more popular ones, the California Trail, and then you have the Santa Fe Trail, and the Mormon Trek here to get to Salt Lake City. Again, like our last lesson, that's why there is a pretty substantial Mormon population in Salt Lake City still to this day. So again, the whole point was to get to Sutter's Fort here to find the gold, so people started moving west. So here's an image of an independent gold hunter on his way to California circa 1850. The prospector says, quote, "I am sorry I did not follow the advice of Granny and go around the Horn," referring to Cape Horn, "through the Straits or by Panama." So basically this quote is saying that going over the land was a bad decision and they should have taken one of the waterways. So again, it looks much shorter to go over the land, but in reality it's much more difficult. And what type of success do you think those heading west will have? Well, we're going to cover that here in the next couple of slides. So we get this term, the 49ers. Again, if you are a NFL fan or a football fan, you've probably heard of the team, the San Francisco 49ers. And why are they called the San Francisco 49ers? Well, it's because farmers and others who left to find gold in 1849, thus the term 49ers. A successful farmer might make $300 a year going and finding gold, and mining for gold offered a slim chance at $25 a day, but again, difficult to find gold, so it wasn't the most lucrative option typically because the majority of people did not find that much. So most might find only gold flakes and do not strike it rich. Again, these are gold flakes. If you could find big clumps of it like this, obviously you're going to make a lot more money, but the odds of you finding chunks of gold this large were pretty slim. Often they give up because they find it's not worth their time or effort, and they try to find other work after only a few months' time. So again, just imagine trying to find gold, and if you're only finding a little bit at a time, it's not really worth your time, so you give up and go find something else that will actually make you some consistent money. So immigrant prospectors. So there's Chinese escaping war and poverty, so they move out here to try and find some gold. Europeans and Latin Americans are seeking riches, so they go to try to find this gold. Unfortunately, though, most experience discrimination and scapegoating for others' failures, so they're not treated very well when they get to these locations. So there were some success stories, however. So there's a man by the name of Samuel Brannan. He sold supplies to miners and became the first Californian millionaire. Again, a lot of people were looking to get rich quick, so what would they need? Well, they would need supplies to mine this gold, so somebody selling it to them worked out really well for them. A man by the name of J.A. Folger founded a coffee firm in San Francisco, and yes, that is still the Folgers coffee you can find today on your shelves in your grocery store. Then there was a man by the name of Levi Strauss, and you've probably heard of Levi's jeans before. Well, this is the same jeans we're referring to today, manufactured and sold the first pair of blue jeans. So you might even own a pair of Levi jeans yourself. Well, that came from this gentleman by the name of Levi Strauss. So, San Francisco, large city in California still to this day, a rival point for most 49ers, and again, that is why the NFL team in San Francisco today is called the San Francisco 49ers. Population of non-natives explodes from about 200 to over 36,000. Again, having a bunch of different people flooding west to find gold leads to population booms. So when does California become a state? It becomes a state in the year 1850. And it enters as a free non-slave owning state, and this actually disrupts the balance of free slave state representatives in Congress. So at this time, there's now more free states, which means non-slave owning states, than there are slave-owning states. The Comstock Lodge. What is the Comstock Lodge? Well, in 1859, a discovery of silver in Nevada/Utah territory. So what this actually leads to is it sparks a new silver rush, and it brings an end to this concept of the California Gold Rush. So, you've now seen the end of the gold rush and how and why people started moving west to try and find gold, and now California is our most populated state in the United States today. So, hope you found that informative. Please make sure you're filling out your guided notes sheet as you listen and go through these notes. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much. Hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and have a great rest of your day.